Welcome to Global Reality. Let's get started. Well, before we start, I would like you to know that we will be coming up with a new video on Hindenburg's allegation with a political perspective. So if you are interested in it, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get notified when we upload our next video. Well, a lot has been said about Adani, and he is being relentlessly targeted by many politicians, media outlets and intellectuals after a firm named Hindenburg Research published a report on Adani, accusing the group of stock manipulation and fraud, which brought down Adani from world's third richest person to number 17 on Forbes' richest person list. Now let's understand the basics first. Hindenburg Research claims that its objective is to prevent financial man-made disasters by investigating and exposing fraudulent corporate entities and save unsuspecting victims from avoidable financial disasters. They claim to have 10 years of experience in this field, but the company was only established in 2017, so it's unclear how they claim 10 years of experience. If you go to Hindenburg's firm website, the dubious part about this website is that you find no mention of its address. In simple terms, their origin is unknown. And if you look at the Wikipedia page, you will see that it was founded in 2017 and the number of employees mentioned was only 5. So basically it takes a company of 5 employees to generate a report that can bring down a successful business empire worth millions of dollars within just a matter of hours. It is also to be noted that Hindenburg Research is a research firm banned from world's largest stock exchange, the New York Stock Exchange known as. It has been accused of identifying and then profiting of corporate disasters. While it accuses Adani of corporate fraud, it is itself among the 30-odd short sell investment and research firms that are under US Department of Justice's criminal probe. You might ask, then what is it that makes a company with just 5 employees so formidable? Well, they have done 45 investigations with a 75% accuracy rate in the last 5 years. As a result, their investors and business partners have benefited financial rewards. In 29 cases, the stock of the firm they looked into and exposed fell by 50% or even more. Prior to targeting Adani Group, Hindenburg's biggest investigation was on an electric vehicle manufacturer by the name of Nikola. Nikola had a market worth of $34 billion at the time, but after the publication of the Hindenburg report, the value fell to just $1.3 billion. The US Security and Exchange Commission investigated Nikola after Hindenburg published their reports, and after the commission investigated Nikola, it declared it guilty. A number of other businesses have also suffered, including Vince Finance, China Metal Resources Utilization, HF Foods and blockchain. Now let's look at its modus operandi. If you know what is short selling, you can skip to this time. Now imagine you have good understanding of share market, or somehow you get to know that after 10 days or so, the price of a specific share is going to fall. So you'll go to a share broker. Imagine me being a share broker. Now what you will do is you won't invest any money, but borrow a share from me. Suppose you borrow one Adani share from me, which is priced at around 3000 rupees. Now you will take that share, borrowed share, and sell it at market price, that is 3000 rupees. And after 10 days or so, when the share price falls, say to rupees 2000 as you had expected, you'll buy a share at 2000 and return me the same share that you had borrowed from me with some fees. So you sold my share at 3000 and bought the same share at 2000 when the price fell. Now the difference is of 1000 rupees and that is your profit. This was just an example to help you explain the concept. The game can involve millions or billions of dollars, and you have to understand it can also backfire if the share price increases from 3000 to 3100 or so. Then you will have to pay me 3100 and the difference of 100 will come out of your wallet, and that will be your loss. This is known as short selling. In this way, Hindenburg takes its share of profits from its partners. if the target company's price declines. This has been true of almost all entities Hindenburg has targeted till date. Adani is being targeted for the same objective. The harder the fall, the more Hindenburg's profit. It's as simple as that. Last year, the short seller made a successful deal out of Elon Musk's takeover of Twitter. Once Hindenburg announced its short position on Twitter, the social media share dropped from $49.80 to $37.39, making a profit of that trade as well. Hindenburg Research first does a deep research on a company that is suspected of fraud, and it takes years to research it. After creating a complete report, they release it on social media and news outlets. As soon as there is a commotion in the market, the shares of that particular company drop, and Hindenburg makes its money. As you can see, there is no activism or altruistic motives as claimed by the research firm. And Adani is perhaps the first time that an American firm has targeted an entity listed in Indian equity markets. Now you might ask, is short selling legal? Well, it is perfectly legal as per American rules and regulations. But is it ethical? And should you trust a company which profits on short selling? Well, that's for you to decide. Now, let's get to the allegations. The report begins with the heading, How the World's Third Richest Man is Pulling the Largest Con in Corporate History. This report had a massive impact on the Indian stock market. It took 2 years of research and multiple trips to multiple countries where Adani Group links were discovered. Lower circuit had to put on Adani stock, which means you can't exit by selling shares at a specific lowest price. Adani shares, including that of Adani Ports, Adani Power and Adani Green, all declined, resulting in a major loss for Adani. They have now posed 88 questions. You may Google it to find information. And the Adani Group responded to the accusation with a full 413-page rebuttal. Adani portfolio has duly disclosed 65 of 88 queries. On the whole, businesses provide annual reports on their websites. 18 of the 23 questions concern third parties and public shareholders. While it is impossible to cover all the 88 allegations, let's take a look at very few interesting ones. The main allegation is of stock manipulation, which has been an ongoing issue for the Adani Group. For instance, a share of Adani Enterprises cost about 130 rupees in March 2020, and by November 22, the price had climbed to more than 4,000 rupees. For a share price to climb this rapidly, it is not typical. As for the allegations about stock manipulation, it is clear that total market capitalization of all Adani companies was not even 2 lakh crore. Now, after a huge rise in Adani shares, the number crossed to around 5 lakh crores. It could be possible that the operator is buying the shares and raising the prices, expecting a huge growth in Adani companies. But it could also be possible that Gautam Adani is looking to raise the funds by asking his operator to raise the share price. With the market capitalization crossing 5 lakh crore, if Adani pledges even 10% shares as a collateral with any financial firm to raise more loans for his business, he will be able to raise 50,000 crores, 10% of 5 lakh crores. We need to understand this. When the market capitalization was 2 lakh crore, and if the promoter, as in the Adani Group, had pledged his 10% shares, he would be able to raise only 20,000 crore. So the difference here is of a massive 30,000 crore. This will eventually help boost the business. This is Vinod Adani, Gautam Adani's older brother. He is a resident of Singapore and Dubai and is a citizen of Cyprus. He serves as a director for more than a dozen trusts and businesses with registrations in a number of nations including Mauritius and Cayman Islands. Now these are the nations that provide businesses with an enticing tax advantages. According to Hindenburg study, Vinod Adani owns 38 shell companies in Mauritius that have a significant impact on the stock price of the Adani Group. The Adani Group maintains that Vinod Adani doesn't hold any formal position in the group. Adani's response to this is very straightforward. They claim that all the entities mentioned in the questions are public shareholders in the listed public shareholder companies and are in no way connected to promoters of these companies. Additionally, they claim that a public listed entity has no control over who purchases, sells or otherwise acquires their shares, how much volume is traded or the source of funding. So this argument essentially claims that a public company cannot prevent these things from happening. The third allegation is that Adani Group is in huge debt. These allegations were levied at 5 companies under the Adani Group. The group responded to the allegation by claiming that over the past 5 years, the growth of their profit before taxes had outpaced the growth of their debt. As a result, even though the value of the debt is high, the debt to profit ratio has decreased over time. While the profits have increased by 22% over the past 5 years, the company's debt, which is its total debt minus its cash, has grown at a slower rate of 11% annually. And Hindenburg completely misses the point that while they showcase Adani is going downhill, Adani has actually managed to pay off its debt relatively quicker over the previous 3 years, rather than acquiring even more. Consequently, this table indicates that there is no risk if net debt by RR is somewhat less than 1, moderate risk is 1 to 3, and 3 to 5 is high risk, and above 5 is very high risk. So if you look at this table in 2013, Adani had a net debt ARA repeater of 7.6, which was extremely very high risk, but by 22, they have lowered it down to 3.2, which is just about moderate risk. And while we are on it, LIC's exposure to Adani is less than 1%, SBI's exposure is also less than 1%, private mutual fund exposure is barely 0.5%, and Adani Group does not have any significant maturing debt till 2025. Also, the group has clarified that its stakeholders that no Adani Group company has ever defaulted in any debt payment. One of Hindenburg's very interesting allegations was Adani's use of auditor Shah Dhandaria to manage accounts of Adani Total Gas and Adani Enterprises, whose combined value was about $100 billion. Allegedly, Dhandaria had just 4 partners and 11 employees, some as young as 24 years old, while the audit partners who signed off on the company's financials were only 28 years old. Now this allegations is rich, coming from a research firm which operates with 5 employees and no mention of its location or address on its official website. However, Adani has clarified that its auditors are all duly certified and qualified by all the relevant statutory bodies. And we have to agree with Adani Group's allegations of a brazen disregard of personal privacy and safety by naming auditors and attacking their competency. And as I said, we are going to make a video on this report with a political perspective. So do like, share, comment and subscribe, and press the bell icon so you get updates when we upload our next video. Thank you for watching.